My name is David Miller. I'm 42 years old, living in a small town in Ohio. I work as a software engineer. Nothing glamorous, but a steady job that helped me build a life I thought was secure. I've been married to Lisa for 12 years, and together, we dreamed of building a future, a house, a family, retirement plans. Life wasn't perfect, but I believed in us. But nothing could have prepared me for the biggest betrayal I ever faced. It wasn't some stranger on the street or a random twist of fate. It was the woman I loved, the person I trusted the most. One evening, I was sitting in my home office, catching up on some work emails, when my phone buzzed with a notification from our bank. A large transfer, nearly all of our life savings, had been withdrawn. I froze. My heart raced as I opened the alert. The transaction wasn't from me. It was a wire to an unknown business account. That's when everything started to unravel. I tried calling Lisa, but she didn't pick up. My texts went unanswered. And then, hours later, I got an email. A PDF attachment titled, "Business Agreement." I opened it with trembling hands. It was a contract, signed by Lisa, showing that she had taken our life savings and invested it into a new business, with someone else. Not just anyone, her lover. I sat back, unable to believe what I was reading. The woman I thought was my partner had been secretly using our money to build a business with another man. And the worst part? She never expected what I'd do next. I wasn't just heartbroken, I was furious. But more than that, I was ready. Ready to fight back in a way she could never imagine. This isn't just a story. It's real. And it happened to me. In the next few minutes, I'm going to take you through everything, how I found out, what I discovered, and the steps I took to make sure justice was served. Because sometimes, the biggest battles aren't fought on distant battlefields. They're fought at home, with the people you trusted the most. And this was my war. For years, Lisa and I lived what I thought was a normal, happy life. We met back in college, in a computer science class. Two nerds who bonded over late-night coding sessions and cheap coffee. From the very start, she was everything I admired, smart, driven, with this infectious laugh that could light up any room. After graduation, we got married in a small ceremony surrounded by close family and friends. Nothing flashy, just us promising to build a life together. In those early years, things felt simple. We rented a small apartment, shared dreams of buying a house one day, maybe starting a family. I worked long hours in tech support. She was finishing her degree in business administration. Lisa was my biggest supporter. She called me her hero, especially when I was going through tough days at work. She believed in me, in us. We'd spend weekends hiking or watching old movies, planning our future over takeout dinners. Those moments felt real, warm, like the kind of life you see in movies but hope to live yourself. But as the years passed, cracks started to show. Not big ones, at least, not at first. There were late nights when Lisa would say she had to work but wouldn't say where. Phone calls she quickly ended when I walked into the room. Small arguments about money. Nothing out of the ordinary for couples, I told myself. Still, she always reassured me with a smile. "Trust me, David. Everything's fine." I wanted to believe her. I had to. Because I loved her. I thought we were building something lasting. I never imagined that behind that smile, a secret was growing. Looking back now, I see the signs I ignored. The texts she deleted, the unexplained withdrawals from our accounts, the sudden interest in starting her own business. I thought I knew Lisa. But sometimes, people hide the darkest truths behind the brightest masks. and I was blind to it all. Those years, the hopes, the dreams, they were all about to be shattered. But at the time, I held on to hope. I believed that if I worked harder, showed more love, maybe things would get better. Little did I know, the biggest betrayal was just around the corner. It started with small things, things I tried to ignore at first. Lisa became distant. Not angry or upset, just quiet. She'd leave the room when my phone rang, or quickly lock her own phone screen when I glanced her way. Her laugh, once warm and genuine, felt forced, like a mask she wore around me. I told myself it was just stress from work, or maybe she was tired. But deep down, something didn't feel right. At night, I'd lie awake, hearing her phone buzz softly on the bedside table. Sometimes, she'd step out to take a call, whispering, speaking in low tones I couldn't hear. I didn't say anything yet. I didn't want to confront her without proof. I started watching quietly, watching her habits, her phone, her every move. One night, around 2:07 a.m., I was barely asleep when her phone lit up. A message popped up, just a single word, "Ready." She looked at it, smiled faintly, then quickly locked her phone again. I felt a knot tighten in my stomach. What was she involved in? Who was she talking to at this hour? The house felt colder, emptier. I was living with a stranger. I asked myself, how long has this been going on? Then came the financial signs. Bills that didn't add up. Withdrawals from our joint account I didn't recognize. At first, Lisa brushed off my questions with a tired sigh or vague excuses. But I could see it, the hesitation, the guilt hidden behind her eyes. Every day, my suspicion grew. Every secret glance, every locked screen, every silent moment, they built a wall between us. I was trapped behind it, desperate for answers. But Lisa stayed quiet. Her silence spoke louder than words. It was the calm before the storm. And I knew something was coming, something that would change everything. The night I found out everything, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in the living room, pretending to be asleep on the couch. My heart was pounding, every instinct screaming at me to leave, but I stayed. Lisa came in late, her eyes tired but alert, like she had been running a marathon in her mind. She sat down quietly, scrolling through her phone. I noticed a file open, a PDF with numbers, contracts, business plans. Curiosity got the better of me. I glanced over her shoulder, and there it was. Our life savings, all of it, tied up in a business venture. But it wasn't just any business. It was a partnership. With him. Her lover. My world shattered in that instant. The woman I loved, the woman I trusted, had taken everything we had saved together and invested it with someone else. Someone I didn't even know was part of our lives. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat there, frozen, but my mind was already racing. She hadn't just betrayed me emotionally. She'd stolen our future. That night, I didn't say a word. I didn't confront her. Instead, I started planning. Because if she thought she could get away with this, she had another thing coming. I would fight. Not with anger, not with noise, but with calculated, quiet determination. The war had begun. After that night, I knew I couldn't rush in with anger or accusations. Lisa thought she'd won, that I'd crumble and give up. But she forgot one thing. I'd been trained to win battles without firing a single shot. For 14 years in the Army, I learned patience, observation, and strategy. And now, I was ready to put those skills to use, in a very different war. First, I began collecting evidence. Quietly, I went through our bank statements, transaction records, and emails. I made copies, screenshots, and saved everything to a secure drive no one else could access. I hired a private investigator, someone I trusted, to dig into this business partner she'd been working with. Every phone call she made, every meeting she attended, I tracked it all. I didn't confront her because I didn't want to tip my hand. Instead, I kept my distance, pretending everything was fine while I built my case. I reached out to a lawyer specializing in family and financial law. We discussed options, strategies, and how to protect what little was left of my future. I felt a cold calm settle over me, the kind that only comes when you know you have the upper hand. The more I learned, the clearer it became. Lisa had no idea what was coming. She thought this was a game she could play alone. But I was ready to end it, on my terms. The day of reckoning arrived quietly, no dramatic confrontations or shouting matches. I walked into the courtroom with a calm I barely felt inside. Lisa was there, her face pale but defiant, sitting beside the man who had stolen our future. I had my evidence lined up like a soldier ready for battle. Emails, bank statements, text messages, every piece of proof meticulously gathered over weeks. When the judge asked me to present my case, I didn't hesitate. I played the audio recording I had secretly made, Lisa and her lover, casually discussing how they planned to take everything. The courtroom fell into stunned silence. I saw the flicker of panic in Lisa's eyes. No lies, no shouting, just cold, undeniable truth. The verdict came swiftly. The court ordered immediate freeze on their assets. The business venture was put under investigation. Lisa's plans crumbled in front of everyone she tried to deceive. It wasn't just about money anymore. It was about justice. And I felt a strange sense of peace wash over me. For the first time in months, I could breathe. Months have passed since that courtroom victory. The dust has settled, and life has slowly found a new rhythm. I won't pretend it was easy. Losing the life I thought I had hurts in ways words can't describe. But through the pain, I learned something important. No matter how deep the betrayal, no one can steal your soul. I rebuilt my life piece by piece, not out of spite or anger, but because I owed it to myself to heal and grow. I found solace in simple things, morning runs, quiet evenings, reconnecting with old friends. I focused on what mattered, my integrity, my strength, and my future. Lisa's chapter in my life is closed. I won't let bitterness define me. Instead, I'm moving forward, stronger and wiser. If there's one lesson I want you to take away from my story, it's this. Even when the people you love betray you, your spirit can remain unbroken. You have the power to rise, rebuild, and reclaim your life. This isn't just my story. It could be yours or anyone's. And if you're going through something similar, remember, you're not alone. You're stronger than you think. And your best days are still ahead. If you found this story powerful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support means everything. Thank you for listening.